If you clicked on this video, you want a full recap of the Brawl Stars 2025 LCQs, and today I'm going to do just that. Now, we first need to understand what LCQs are. The LCQ is the last chance qualifier. 16 teams that did not get an automatic bid to the World Finals in Stockholm get a chance to prove their point and make it there during this tournament. 4 teams will, so that 16 teams total make World Finals in December. The 2025 version of the LCQ was held in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and today we're going to go over every single aspect of that tournament. Here are some basic LCQ rules. There are 3 days. The first 2 are qualification days for the final day. There are 4 groups, A, B, C, D. The top 2 teams from each group move on to that qualification day. There are also so many games on day 1 that we can only really spend 10 to 20 seconds on each if we want this video to be less than an hour long. And honestly, the first game of the day, BC Gaming versus Team Electros, was electric, with the away team from NA beating the home team of Brazil. Now, we need to give a little bit of context about how the LCQ bracket works because it is a little bit strange. In round 1, all 4 teams play. The 2 winners automatically move to their own game, and the 2 losers automatically move to a different game. The winner of the loser game moves to the game against the loser of the winner game. The winner who wins 2 games in a row automatically moves to day 3 in the top 8. But either the winner of the loser's game or the loser of the winner's game also moves on to day 3. It is slightly complicated, but that needed to be pointed out here. It also is unfortunate because some of the games on day 1 were played behind stage, so we know that PaparaSupermassive was able to win 3-0, but we don't have any of that game footage. Now, the next group up was Group B, and the game that they showed was Chapter of Happiness versus Reply Totem, and honestly, it was incredibly one-sided. Reply Totem absolutely dominated. Chapter of Happiness did get 1 game, but overall, clean sweep from Reply Totem, and they move on to the winner's game. Na'Vi would also end up beating Upcore by 3-1 sets-wise, so Chapter of Happiness and Upcore go to the loser's bracket, while Reply Totem and Na'Vi both go to the winner's side. Experian NXT versus Casa was maybe the best game that had been shown so far, with Casa ending up beating Experian 3-1, and honestly, it really showed me how strong Arthur is as a prospect, and I'm excited to see him next year. We gotta go look at that bracket. Now, the behind stage game of Group C was Rivals versus Toxic Lotus, which was an absolute crime because Toxic Lotus would actually end up reverse sweeping Rivals 3-2 in an elite game that you can find on a Chinese site posted by one of the Toxic Lotus players. Now, probably the best first round game that we saw all of day 1 was Revenant Xspark versus Inner Circle. And Revenant Xspark would end up winning 3-2, but it was almost a reverse sweep, as Revenant would immediately go up 2-0, but Inner Circle would claw back the score to 2-2, but eventually it was too much, and Revenant Xspark would move on, as their MVP, Sergeant, was absolutely carrying them against Inner Circle. Now, on the bottom half of the Group A bracket, Crazy Raccoon would sweep New Heights Gaming, and New Heights Gaming would immediately, in 3 games, be sent to the bottom of the bracket. After Crazy Raccoon took down New Heights Gaming, it was time to move over to the eliminations of day 1, and in Group D, KDS Esports would be taken down by BC Gaming in a double match point. KDS would immediately go up 2-1, but BC would claw their way back and eventually take down KDS 3-2. Now, over in Group B, the elimination game between Chapter of Happiness and Upcore Esports was incredibly decisive, as Upcore would beat Chapter of Happiness 3-1 and send the Chinese powerhouses packing. Over in Group C, Experian NXT versus Rival Esports are fighting for a chance to stay alive, and unfortunately for NXT, EMEA's number 9 seed, they would not be able to survive against the Asian Giants rival and my absolute GOAT, Mameshi. Now, over in the Group A elimination game, Inner Circle will absolutely destroy NHG and rob them of their hopes to getting to World Final in a 3-1 defeat, eliminating NHG from the Last Chance qualifiers. Now, that was also the last match of Day 1. 12 teams remain, but by the end of tomorrow, only 8 will. Now, Day 2 is the day that I'm going to be going over the least. But first off, we have to talk about PaparaSupermassive beating Rafiki and Team Electros 3-2 in the first winners match. In Group B, the winners match was set almost immediately, with Reply Totem coming out and absolutely crushing Navi 3-0. Now, in Group C, we had Toxic Lotus versus Casa. I personally had Toxic Lotus making their way to World Finals, but they would end up falling 3-1 to Casa and getting sent down to the losers bracket. Over in Group A, in a surprising upset, RNTX and Sargent were able to upset Crazy Raccoon, Tensai, Mamushi, and Moya in an absolutely crazy game. Now, 4 teams have automatically made their way to the third day, but now we have to go over the decision games, the winners of the losers game versus the losers of the winners game. Now, the first giant to fall and immediately be eliminated was Berlin City Club, losing 3-2 to my NA GOATs, Team Electros. Now, the next game was unfortunate for the Indians of Upcore Esports, as the previously weak-looking Navi against Reply Totem absolutely crushed them into the ground 3-1, moving Navi onto the final nay and eliminating Upcore from the competition. Now, in Group C, an absolute travesty would occur as Toxic Lotus, the number 1 seed of China, would fall to Rival Esports and be permanently eliminated from 2025 Brawl Stars Championship competition. Over in Group A, in an unsurprising twist, Crazy Raccoon and Tensai would end up beating Inner Circle 3-1, and that double world champ difference would send him to the final day. Now, Day 3 was arguably the most important, as there were only 8 teams left and every single team would play 1 game. Whoever wins that 1 game makes World Finals. There is no, you have an extra life. You win, you move on. You lose, you go home for the rest of the season. And in that first game of the day, Revenant Xspark was able to take out Rival, and Sargent and his team of absolute men were able to move on to Worlds, while Mameshi and Rivals were sent packing. Now, Reply Totem versus Team Electros was maybe the most exhilarating game of Day 3, as a reverse sweep would occur, as Team Electros would immediately go up 2-0 in sets, but the absolute GOATs, Reply Totem, would come back and reverse sweep by winning sets 3-5, and as you can see, the GOAT, Angel Boy, making his first appearance at World Finals with incredible joy. It's also one of the greatest coaching debuts in history, with Drage forcing his team to World Finals after being disregarded by all of his other teams. In the third golden ticket match, the second reverse sweep of the day occurred, as Casa Brawl, the South American Giants, were eliminated by the Japanese Crazy Raccoon, who would move on to World Finals. Does this mean Tensai is going to become triple world champ difference? I don't know, but I'm certainly going to be rooting for CR in those exact same finals. Now, in an incredibly dominant game from PaparaSupermassive, they were easily able to sweep Navi and win 3-0 and make their way to the final stage. The EMEA teams are always just above the rest of the pack, and it's unfortunate because players like Kuru and Achapi are just not going to be able to be seen on that final stage because they simply can't compete in events like the LCQ against these dominant EMEA teams. Now, in the end, only Crazy Raccoon, Totem, Revenant, and PaparaSupermassive were able to qualify for World Finals, but that was not the end of this event, as also the groups for World Finals were announced, and let's look at them right about now.
I don't know, I just feel like it. I don't know.
Okay, so he chose Group C, but right now we're gonna figure it out which group Reply Totem belong. Please open your bowl. Oh!
Let's go! I mean, it's pretty good, it's pretty good.
Are you happy?
Yeah, kind of.
That's good.
Group A. Group A.
Group B.
There we go. Crazy Raccoon belongs to Group B. And it's all set. All the teams here that have made it to the World Finals.
Let me know if you think that I should do a World Finals prediction now that we know the whole groups down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe as it helps me immensely. Love y'all. See you next time for another documentary.